Good afternoon, class. Thank you. You can sit down. All right, then in our previous lesson, we looked at drawing graphs from an equation and a table of, using a table of values. All right, today, you were given homework to do, and that was homework one was to find from the lines A, B, C, and D to find the gradient and the y-intercept, and then compare with the values for the gradient and the y-intercept in the equation. And then you were also asked to draw the lines y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 4 minus x, and then find the coordinates of the point where the two lines meet, which is called the point of intersection. Okay, so first you were asked to do number 2. All right, any answers for the point of intersection, the coordinates for the point of intersection? Any volunteer? Velma?
One and 3.
1, 3. Everyone agrees that it's 1, 3? Okay. The point of intersection is 1, 3. Note, in grade 12, what you will do is you will actually you will use the graphs to solve equations simultaneously. What you can do is, see if you can solve y equals 2x plus 1 and y equals 4 minus x. Simultaneously, you will find that x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 3. Okay, so they are related. Right, next thing you are asked to do is to work out the gradient, which is using rise over run, read off the y-intercept, and then compare the values of m and c with the equation of the straight line. Okay, so that we can do a little bit more. I've actually got the lines, I think, for A, B, and C on the board. Okay, we'll have to go back and see. Line A is y equals 2x, all right, which is this line you can compare with yours, which is this line, y equals 2x. Now, many times you will not be given the equation of the line. You will be asked to find the gradient and then read off what the y-intercept will be. Okay, to find out whether the gradient is positive or not, or whether it's positive or negative, the best way is to look at the direction the line is sloping. Okay, if the line slopes in this direction, it will have a positive gradient. If the line slopes in the opposite direction, it will have a negative gradient. Now, if you can remember that, it will be of great help to you. So that once you see a line, just the way it slopes, you will know that the gradient, whether the gradient is positive or negative. In grade 12, we actually tell you the reason why it has a positive or negative gradient, because we define the gradient in a different way. All right, we actually do this in detail. It's a 3-week unit, and it only talks about, we only learn about straight lines. We do that more in detail. Okay, for line A, y equals 2x, how would we work out the gradient is 2? Now, using rise over run, this is how I would do that. All right, starting from the line, if you go to the right, that means the run is positive. So it's positive 2. And then from here going up, the rise is also positive. So the rise here is positive and the run will be positive. So the rise is 4 and the run is 2. That's why the gradient is positive 2. You also note that it's sloping in this direction, so that's why the gradient is 2. And the y-intercept is 0, That's why the equation is y equals 2x. You don't need to write plus 0 because it doesn't exist. I mean, the y-intercept is 0, so it's y equals 2x. The next one, y equals, sorry, it's not b. Okay, I think the next one is c. I just chose 3 lines. This one is letter C, y equals negative x. Why is the gradient negative 1? Okay, if you look at the line, from the line, you are going back, you are going to the left. That's why and it's 2 units to the left from here to here, and I've got the run to be negative 2, because from here up is positive. That's why the rise is positive. So positive 2 over negative 2 will give negative 1. So you may have been taught another way of working out whether the rise or the run is positive or negative, but I start from the line. Okay, if I start from the line and I go back, I go to the left, that means it's negative. If I start from the line and I go to the right, it's positive. And if I go up, that's positive. Here, you go from here to here, it's negative, and then going up, it has to be positive. So 2 over negative 2 will give negative 1. Again, the y-intercept is 0. That's why the equation is y equals negative x. Okay, the next one is letter D, which is y equals 2x plus 5. Now, 5 is the y-intercept, therefore it's that number. And again, I'm starting from the line here. Going to the right is positive, so that the run is 2.5. Because I've got 1, 2, and 2.5. And the run, the rise is from 0 to 5, so it will be 5. 5 divided by 2.5 will give 2. That's why the gradient of this line is 2. So it's y equals 2x plus 5, which is the y-intercept. Okay, sometimes, many times I've found that the students make a mistake by saying this. For instance, if this is the line we are looking at, and because this is a negative 2.5, they tend to say it's 5 divided by negative 2.5, which is going to give you a negative number, and it's wrong because the equation of this line is supposed, the gradient of this line is supposed to be positive. Okay, we are going to look at another way of working out the gradient later on, which is using 2 points. And that's a more convenient way because you will always get it right if you use the formula properly. Okay, that's it on the homework that you were asked to do. Now the next thing, 2 things we'll do today. One is to find the gradient, the y-intercept and the x-intercept from an equation of a straight line. And secondly, I'm going to teach you how to sketch a straight line. Okay, the general equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c. In grade 12, you learn a different way of writing it down. In grade 12, I actually discourage you to think of an equation of a straight line this way because there's a mistake the students tend to make all the time if they remember this. Okay, but in grade 11, this is what we teach you. The equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient or the slope of the line, and c is the y-intercept. It's the point where the line cuts the y-axis. All right, for instance, I've got an equation here, y equals 2x minus 4. It's very easy to see from the equation here that this is m and this is c. It's like y equals mx plus c. So m is 2, the gradient is 2, and the y-intercept is negative 4. Okay, example number 2. Find the gradient, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept of the line 3y plus 6x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, I have rearranged the equation of the line. Now, First, to find the gradient, you have to make y. You have to make y the subject of the equation. You all know how to do that from algebra, so that's what I've done. 3y equals minus 6x plus 3. I move 3 to the right by adding 3 on both sides. And 3y equals negative 6x plus 3. Then I divide by 3, I get minus 2x plus 1. Now, this looks like y equals mx plus c. So, the gradient is negative 2 and the y-intercept is positive 1. Is it clear? Okay, how about finding the x-intercept? To find the x-intercept, you make y equal to 0, because at the x-intercept, which is here, this point here, y is equal to 0. So that's why you have to make y equal to 0 to find the x-intercept. To find the x-intercept, you have to make y equal to 0, then solve for x. So 3y plus 6x equals 3, that's the equation of the line. Make y 0, so I get 6x equals 3, and x is a half. That means the point where the graph cuts the x-axis is positive, is where x is equal to positive a half. So this line has a gradient of negative 2, it has a y-intercept of positive 1, and it has an x-intercept of positive a half. Okay, so I'm going to give you a long exercise. The first thing you will do is to find the gradient and y-intercept. So you're going to do this, making y the subject of the equation, and then you will find the gradient and the y-intercept. Now, why is finding the y-intercept and the x-intercept important? Now, the reason is because you have to sketch, you have to be able to sketch a straight line. So when you are asked to sketch, it's not the same as plotting. Okay, it's not the same as plotting, because when you plot, you're supposed to plot all the points on the line. Sketching is only a rough diagram of the actual line. To sketch a line, only 2 points are required, and that is the x and the y-intercept. Then you join those 2 points, you already have a line. So I am going to sketch 2 lines, and then I'll ask you to do the exercise, which involves this and also sketching. Hopefully we'll complete it today. Okay, sketch the graphs of the following. Y equals minus 2x plus 4 and 2y minus 4x plus 2. Okay, first you have to find the y-intercept. Okay, here it's clear the y-intercept is positive 4. If you are not sure, what you can do is you make x 0, because at the y-intercept, x is always 0, and then you say y equals minus 2 times 0 plus 4, you will get y equals 4, which is this number here. And then to find the x-intercept, you make y equal to 0. So y equals minus 2x plus 4. You make y 0, and then you solve for x. I get 2x plus 4 minus 4 equals minus 2x, and x will be equal to 2. Okay, so to sketch, you just need a rough diagram of the line. It doesn't have to be an exact one. You don't even need to put intervals on the axis. Okay, where it says 4, sorry, because the y-intercept is 4, you just put 4 here. and the x-intercept is 2, you just get half of 4 and make that maybe somewhere here. And then you join the 2 points. Okay, that is the line y equals minus 2x plus 4. Now, it looks that way. It should look this way, I mean slope this way because the gradient is negative. So that's all you need to do to sketch a straight line. It's just a rough diagram to show what the line will look like. Okay, let's do the other one. 2y minus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0. To find the x and y intercept, you don't need to change the subject and make y the subject. You just substitute x equal to 0 for the y intercept and y equal to 0 for the x intercept. So first, to find the y intercept, we make x 0. So we go 2y minus 4 times 0 plus 2 equals 0. I get 2y equals negative 2 and y is equal to negative 1. Okay, to find the x-intercept, we have to make y equal to 0. I get 2 times 0 minus 4, x equals negative 2. I'm bringing 2 to the other side, and I get minus 4x equals negative 2. That means x is positive a half. So to sketch, okay, the y-intercept is negative 1, so it's somewhere here. The x-intercept is positive a half, so it's there. To sketch, you just join those 2 points. Okay, so this is 2y minus 4x plus 2 equals 0, and this is y equals minus 2x plus 4. Okay. After you get this done, I would like you to do 1. Y equals 3x. Or before you get this done, see if you can sketch y equals 3x. Finished? Too much talking coming from the back. Okay, let's look at y equals 3x. What's the x-intercept? And the y-intercept? That's only 1 point. So how can you sketch? This is the only point. The x-intercept is 0 because if you make y 0, x will be 0. And if you make x 0, y will be 0. So how can you sketch the line? You cannot just draw any odd line. Because all the lines where the y-intercept is 0, they will all go through the same point. Okay, if that happens, what you do is you substitute x equals 1 to make it easy. Substitute x equals 1 in the equation. That means when x equals 1, y is equal to 3. Okay, that way you will be able to sketch the graph correctly. Because this means that the line will be a steep line because the gradient is 3. It will be steeper than if the gradient is 1 or if the gradient is 2. So I have to put those points down. Sorry, one more point down to be able to sketch the line. Okay, and this is the point 1, 3. If you just sketch the line without putting that point down, okay, I am not going to know, or the person seeing it will not know that's the graph of y equals 3x. Because like I said, all the lines where the y-intercept is 0 will go through the same point. It's the steepness of the line that's the difference. Okay, now you are going to do exercise 2.6. Number 1, A to H, and then, sorry, it's A to K. Then you are going to do number 2, finding the x and the y-intercept. And then number 3 refers to number 2. You will now sketch after you find the x and y-intercept, and you also do number 4, all the questions. Okay, number 1, exercise 2.6. If you finish number 1, we look at the answers before you go on. Okay, check your, check your answers, please. 1a, the gradient is 1, the y-intercept is 3. 1b, the gradient is 2, the y-intercept is -4. C, the gradient is -3 on 2, and the y-intercept is 6. Clear? D, the gradient is 1/2, the y-intercept is 3. E, the gradient is 2, the y-intercept is -3 on 2. Sorry, -6. Gradient is, again, 1/2, sorry, 2, y-intercept is -6. F, the gradient is -1, y-intercept is 7. G, the gradient is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 0. That equation is y equals 1/2 x. That's for letter G. Letter H, the gradient is I have to do that one on the board. Okay, 4 on x minus 2 over y equals 1. It looks like something's wrong with it. Okay, if I make y the subject of the equation, I will have to multiply by y. And this is going to be 4y on x minus 2 equals y. And then I also have to multiply by x, but the thing is I'm going to have yx on this side. Okay, that means there is something wrong with the equation. If I multiply, I will get 4y minus 2x equals yx. If I make y the subject of the equation, I'm going to go back to this one. Okay, the reason why it's not I think the way the equation was written is wrong. I know that if you have an equation like xy, it will not form a straight line. It will form a different type of graph. So for letter H, the equation is not written correctly. I think 0 what? You mean on the worksheet? Okay, if it's 0, then on the worksheet you will be able to work it out. But the one on the screen, if it's 1, then there is no answer to it. Okay, if it is 0, if you've got 4 over x minus 2 over y equals 0, then you are going to get 4y minus 2x equals 0. If you multiply by xy, then there is an answer to this one. You get 4y equals 2x, you get y equals 1/2 x. Okay, so for the one on your worksheet, the gradient is 1/2 and the y-intercept is 0. The one on the screen, there is no answer to the question. There is no y-intercept and there is no gradient. It will form a different line. Okay, for homework, you are going to complete question 1, so I, J, K. Then you are going to do number 2. Note, number 2 says you have to find the x and y intercepts, not the gradient. So that's letters A to K. Then number 3, you are going to sketch all the graphs that you've done in number 2. And then number 4, sketch all those the straight lines given by the equations A to J. There's a lot of work to be done for homework. The keyword to the pilot teacher is sketching. Please stand. Good afternoon, class. Thank you.